as Deidre said, I'm Jennifer Thompson. I'm a born and bred Orange County native. I was actually born over at the Orlando Naval Training Center and grew up out in East Orange County. Attended and graduated from University High School. I was there the very first year that it actually opened up. I've spent my entire adult career, for the most part, working in District 4. And actually was with Simon Property Group, heading up the marketing and community relations for Waterford Lakes Town Center for nearly 6 years. And actually had the privilege of being the volunteer president of this organization, at least the East Orlando Chamber of Commerce, for nearly 4 years as a volunteer. And while I was with the Chamber, I had the opportunity with a good friend of mine who's in the audience, Jim. He and I co-authored and led a 10-month growth study out in East Orange County. And we ended up co-authoring the East Orlando Visioning Study back in 2003. And when Mayor Crotty announced his plans for the county moving forward in 2005, he actually recognized the East Orlando Visioning Study that came out of Jim and I's 10-month of work in this chamber as a blueprint for economic growth and job creation in Central Florida. I'm very proud of my deep community roots in District 4 and in Orange County. In fact, I've spent the last 10 years dedicated as a volunteer to the American Cancer Society. I've worked with a lot of you over the years. 11 years ago, helped start the East Orlando Relay for Life. I've spent, I think 2 years ago, chaired the Lake Nona Relay. And just last year, had the privilege of leading the Central Florida Making Strides Against Breast Cancer Walk in downtown Orlando as a volunteer. And very proud to say we raised over $600,000 for cancer research programs, advocacy programs, and services that stayed right here in Central Florida. I'm a small business owner. My husband's in the audience, David, midway through the room. And David and I own and operate a couple of businesses. We have a small community-based magazine that we publish each month. We have a small marketing and PR firm that mainly deals in healthcare. And every Thursday, I'm privileged to lead a small business networking group called Coffee Club that I started about 4 years ago. And we've had about 3,500 small businesses come through that group. It's free. And I'll tell you this. I want to be the jobs commissioner. I have had my hands in some manner of opening and helping to open over 100 businesses in this district. If you elect me on August 24th, you'll know that on day one I'm going to hit the ground running, trying to bring real jobs to Central Florida, help diversify our economy, and be a real voice for the folks that are in District 4. I'm going to work hard to make sure we get our fair share of resources. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Pete Clark. Been a resident of Orange County since 1965, which is probably long before many of you were born in this room, but us elder statesmen have a place in this life too. My beautiful wife is in the audience, Kathy. She and I live in the Conway area right now with 2 teenagers, 2 rescue lab dogs, and a couple cats that wandered up, so there's always something going on in the household. I went to Boone High School, and following Boone, I decided I wanted to get into the sciences, so I got a degree in marine biology at the University of West Florida, and was lucky enough to do some environmental work with the State Department of Health for many, many years, doing environmental surveys, looking at drinking water issues, waste issues, and ultimately worked in the laboratory doing some water sampling and epidemiological studies. But along the way, found I had a knack for numbers and moved into management and was recruited later by Orange County government to run all their medical programs. And we'll talk a little bit about those in a minute. But from a community standpoint, I've served on numerous boards. Right now, due to the campaign, I've slacked off a little bit. I'm on the Shepherd's Hope board. We do clinics at night. I have 11 clinics for uninsured people. It's totally faith-based and totally volunteer-driven. I'm also on the Lake Eola Charter School board. Have a deep interest in educational activities. Really big fan of charter schools. Also, I'm a Kiwanian and a Rotarian, so those keep me busy. The reason I want to run is that with my medical background, my business background, I've worked not only for county government, state government, also have worked for private enterprise. I work for Community Health Centers Incorporated right now. We have 10 clinics that we operate for folks that have no trouble getting insurance or can't find insurance. We have 8 in Orange County, we have 2 in Lake County. It's a private organization. The beauty of it is we can help folks keep their jobs, because what's worse than losing your job because you can't find a place to get care for you or your family. The other thing is, with my experience in Orange County, I've managed budgets exceeding $150 million. I've been directly responsible for staffing of over 1,000 people. It's a big, big business. It's a huge business. It's a $3 billion business. And at this point in time, our revenues are shrinking and we're facing a lot of stresses. I think I'm the appropriate person now that knows the government, I know the budget, now I know how to manage the budget, and will be a very, very good commissioner in that regard. The other thing that I'd like to discuss is 30 seconds. I'll wrap it up. I want to be your commissioner. I want to be the commissioner that you will turn to when you need me. I want to be the commissioner that I'll turn to you to address community problems. I've built my entire career on collaboration, doing some of the things that I've been able to accomplish, primary care access network, the after-school zones. I'm a physical conservative, but I'm a social realist. I know that there are certain things that we need to collaborate with the community to do, to take care of. And I'm also very concerned about the environmental issues. That's why I have a degree that I have in marine biology. I love the outdoors.
Good evening. It is a pleasure and an honor to be here, most importantly to be running for this position. I was born and raised in District 4. My family moved to Orlando in 1973. My dad used to work for Martin Marietta, and I grew up in Sky Lake in Pine Castle, which was the big Martin Marietta McCoy Air Force Base area back in the 70s. And I'm running for office because I want safer neighborhoods. I want government and fiscal accountability. And I want equal representation for everyone, regardless of where you live, how much money you make, or the color of your skin. I got involved in this race actually following my faith. I'm very big with Focus, Federations of Congregations United to Serve. I've been a parishioner at St. John Vianney my entire life. Baptized Mary, baptized my daughter. She goes to school there. I serve on the school board and I serve on the church board. But realizing all the activities and all the things we do for the community, until we're in leadership roles, we really can't make a difference. Through Focus, we have done excellent programs in South Orlando, including the pedestrian walkways on Oak Ridge Road when children were being hit by cars in the morning, and many programs, including supporting Shepherd's Hope. But my involvement in this activity started when I was 7 years old and I was a Girl Scout. I now have my own troop, Troop 219 at St. John Vianney. This is about a lifetime of serving your community. I always say what motivates me every day to keep going on this campaign is that I want my daughter to have a better future than I did. I also want to recognize my husband and my 6-year-old daughter Faith here, who have been the best campaign workers that money can't buy. But we started this campaign 18 months ago. I filed my papers on February 19th, and on February 20th I started knocking on doors because I wasn't the chosen candidate downtown. Everyone said I would not get elected, that the seat had already been selected. But I started knocking on doors and talking to voters one by one, and in 18 months I've had the pleasure of knocking on over 14,000 doors in this district because it's important to me, because it's personal to me. I am a small business owner, have been for 3 years, but my husband has been a small business owner, and I've been a partner of his for 10 years in development and housing, and I have a small company I started myself 3 years ago. I worked for the federal government for 7.5 years, where I learned about the red tape that goes on. I handled military affairs, FEMA, actually helping people in the 04 and 05 hurricanes receive their funds so they can rebuild their lives. State Department issues and transportation issues, working on appropriations of funds for Orange County. Again, I am ready to start as soon as we get elected and as soon as we get sworn in. And I've also had the pleasure of being endorsed by the Orange County Sheriff's PBA and the Orange County Firefighters. I want to move forward, and I want to see better in our next future going on. Thank you very much, Myra Uribe.
First of all, I want to thank the EOCC for putting this on. We really appreciate that. Thank you to everybody that came out. My name is Lydia Pisano. I want to thank my husband also, who is here. We also have 5 little miniature pinscher rescue dogs, and we live in Belle Isle. I am in my 2nd term as a Belle Isle City Commissioner. The reason that I'm running for this seat is because I've got the experience for what it takes to run our district, to make it better. We've got a lot of district issues, and I do agree with Ms. Thompson. We do need jobs, but jobs is only a very small part of being a county commissioner. We've got a lot of issues in District 4, which includes our growth issues. We've got developers who want to try to cross our rivers. We've got developers who want to harm the wildlife corridors and expand the rural settlement areas, which is going to put a humongous impact on the residents when the infrastructure is not there. We've got some water issues that are going to be coming up very shortly. We've got a lot of lake issues. with things that are going into the lakes from the new fertilizer law that just came out to other things that we absolutely need to keep our lakes up, not just to protect our private property rights, but for also enjoyment and also drinking for water. We need to make sure that the Orange County mayor or commissioners are not going to skim off the tops of our lakes for irrigation purposes like they were 2 years ago. We also need to make sure that we have somebody up there who will stand up to development, say no to development when the time is not right. We need someone that's going to protect our budget, not raise our taxes, keep our housing affordable. I sell real estate, and I've seen many people lose their homes this year. Many people, I will tell you, the face of the homeless has drastically changed. I've seen many realtor friends lose their homes this year, which is just a travesty. We need to get our economy back on track. We need to keep our taxes low the way they are. We need to still fund our bus lines. We need to try to figure a way to fund our Sunrail that we're going to get, whether some of you, are for it or not. And one of the big issues is the biggest thing, I think, is to keep our economy going. Once we can keep our economy going, keeping our families working, bringing in some jobs that are not just going to be contingent on one industry. Do you know in one real estate transaction that creates 27 jobs? It's amazing. 27 jobs for one real estate transaction. And one of the things, one of the things that we need to look at is bringing in companies that aren't just industry dependent. We need to bring in high-paying jobs, solar jobs, high-tech jobs. And we need to start training for people who have lost their jobs for these new positions and get our families working. We need to start more vocation in our schools. By doing that, we're going to keep the kids more interested. Our graduation ratios are going to increase. And when the kids do graduate, they're going to end up with higher paying jobs. So those are some of the things that Orange County Commissioner will do. I've got the experience to do it. Thank you.